Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video we are going to be setting up the base style as a starter for our blog posts. So I've just added this here. You can find this on the code base. Just add some base styling for the blog quote, for UL, OL, A, paragraph, headings, images, strong text, so on and so on. So obviously we want to make sure that you are running the development tool with Laravel. Now, if we head back, this post has list style. It doesn't have right now, but if we refresh, you can see there's a nice list styling here. On top of that, we can also now go in and add some baselining for other things, such as if you want to go in and add maybe just a small inline code. You can see that now shows up as well. So this allows us to essentially have a bit more of a style blog post and or other things. And if you, for example, were going to go in and create a link, and we add that in now, you can see that's now with an undone. You can also, obviously, if you want to change the link to not have any underline, and maybe if you prefer indigo, for example, that would work as well. So yeah, there we go. That's basically adding the basic styles for the blog post. Now that's done, we also want to probably go and change this block here. So instead of calling that hello world, let's add this into FAQs. So we're going to be working over this over the next 2 episodes. So in this episode, we're going to be setting up the base for it. We also want to go back in here and rename this to FAQs. We want to change this to a repeater. And then we want to create a schema. And here we then want to have a text input of, let's say, question. And we want to have a rich editor for now. We can use TipTap Editor as well for answer. So if we now head back in here, refresh the page, and let's erase all the content, and let's just drag and drop this in here. As you can see, we can now add multiple questions with hello world and good morning as an answer, as an example. And you could just basically output this in Accordion. Obviously, this won't work right now because we have the issue of not having the right details. So we want to have A, question, and B, the answer in here. And so we probably want to create this as a accordion. And let's just start out with having accordion printed out. Then you can see what data we get there. So if you go ahead again and drop this in, you can see we get a question and an answer. So basically what we can do here is we can go through, and let's actually call this accordions or questions, but I think accordions makes more sense because this is going to be inside an accordion. As accordion. Then now, if we go ahead and say accordion question, this now shows the question. So what can we do now? We can essentially head to Flowbyte. So let's get this printed out here. All right, so now that we have this printed out, we may just want to show the accordion with the question in here, but in the rendered one, we obviously want to show the entire FAQ section. So let's go back in here. We want to essentially iterate through each of these accordions. And let's see if we can get accordion question as a starter. So now let's go in and just say hello, hello. Let's inspect element. Let's see what we have in the side inside this body here. And we had the question as hello. So inside this paragraph, nothing seems to be printing right now. So as a starter, let's make sure that also inside the app service provider that you rename this as an FAQ block and change the import up here. Then let's head back to the blog post and just as JSON. You can now see we have this is not saving. So why is that not saving? Let's just take a look at that. So if we put this back as HTML as a starter, we want to make sure that we named this correctly for the view. Want to get rid of that. This obviously has to be JSON. And why is this not working? Let's take a look. So we have the previews here. That works fine, but it's not saving. So inside the post model, let's make sure we have everything configured. The content as array. Perfect. Let's also make sure that's inside the product model. And it isn't, but this is not to do with that, just so we can use the TipTap Editor there. Also in for product resource, just quickly, you want to go ahead to content. And you want to make sure this gets outputted as JSON, otherwise this will fail. This only works with JSON. Okay, perfect. So that's now done. But why is this not saving? Hello, well. There we go. So what if we add another one? Now we can actually add FAQs in there. So what if we go in and just create another one saying, good morning, morning. This won't work. And the reason for that, I suspect, is because we need to actually go ahead and output a unique ID here. So let's say Accordion question. That won't work either. So if we actually just go ahead again, let's see what we have to work with here. Printer accordion. It's basically we want to get key as well. And obviously the issue here is obviously we need to have it the other way around. And then we just want to head in and say key. We also want to make sure all of it has the same content. So get rid of the HTML in here. Just say accordion. And then let's say answer. And this won't work fully, so let's just make sure that we output this as HTML. And this is still not fully working, so let's just double check why. Also make sure we have key here. Key here. There you go. So now if I wanted to go ahead into the accordion here, we could actually go in and put this as italic. And we could put this as an underline. Now we haven't actually styled that in the CSS, so let's just go in and make sure we have that styled. So as you can see, we have got the styling. Oh no, it actually didn't save as well, so that's why that didn't work either. Let's just save this again and then refresh. Or try to add a new one maybe. And then let's add an underline. That works fine. Okay, so let's go again in here. It still doesn't look like there is a weird error. I don't know if that's to do with the editor being used, but it does look like there is still some few small bugs with this new application. So at the moment, the edit functionality may not work fully with the widgets, then maybe that's the reason why. I'm not entirely sure why, but that should be fixed by the creator at some point. So if we go in and say hello world, and we just add another accordion here saying question 2, hello world. I have one small thing I want to change here. So basically in this previews here, let's actually just display this inside a list here, just so it looks a tiny bit better. There we go. And it still works the same way. We have the ability now to add in an accordion. You can still add text on the top here saying hello world. Perfect. So this is how you add blocks with TipTap Editor and Filament free. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit the like and the subscribe button. And if you enjoy my content, also please subscribe on Patreon.